What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's like I think I've said it before on the show, but Thursdays feel like the start of my weekend. Like it's not true because I work a lot and I still have a lot to do, but like the stressful parts, like I got through my Tuesday night show. Wednesday is fun, but I have to go to bed early because I got to get up at this ungodly hour because I decided to do a show at 6:30 in the morning.
Well, I'm so sorry, Adam.
I know who did that to me, right? But in an hour, that's all going to be behind me. And I got some cool stuff going on today. My clients in North Carolina are busy. I got some snakes coming in at FedEx. And then I don't know if I want to roll out the one thing just yet, but got to say,
well, let's just say, hey, welcome everybody. Love meeting every Thursday morning at 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30, whatever your time is.
Yeah, bad decision time here.
And this is Proper Cup of Joe. I don't have any snakes. I have a lot of questions from my friend who does have a whole lot of snakes, and that's Adam over there. So welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And we usually start with the one thing. That's the one thing. Let's talk about the one thing. What's the one thing that you have this week? You were thinking about it before the show started, and now I think you've got it.
Yeah, and I had to. Once it hit my head, I was like, there could be nothing but this one thing. What if I told you there was something so delicious that if I could have it every day, I would never eat a ribeye again, which is like my favorite food ever.
I wouldn't believe you.
Okay, fair enough. Well, for about 2 weeks a year, the morel mushrooms are here. And I think it's a little early, but weather's been pretty funny. This is that anticipation moment. The morel mushrooms, potentially, they've been spotted in southern Minnesota, further south from us, and I think it's been warm enough. I'm going to go hit some spots today and see if the morel mushrooms are here. If they are, you guys won't be able to get a hold of me this weekend because I will not leave the woods until I've taken all that I can. But between now and this time next week, the mushrooms will be here for sure.
Now, the mushrooms are so good that you would replace steak with them.
Yeah. Oh, if I could eat a morel mushroom every night. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Absolutely.
I've had the morel butter that you've made, which is fantastic.
Thank you, man. That is, I've been missing it. So when I moved, like in North Carolina, I had my spots. I moved to Florida. They don't have morels there. And now, like, people guard there's like, maybe physically guard, but certainly like people aren't going to tell you where they know where their mushrooms are. So like finding them has been a real challenge in Minnesota for me, but I got on some last year. It was a little late in the season, so they weren't very good last year, but I know where they're at now. Like I'm going to, I'll have them. And what you're talking about is this butter that I make for like steaks and pastas all through the year. So the first batch of morels goes into making this butter that I could preserve and put in the freezer for the whole year. Then any morels that I get, I can gorge myself on, and I'll put them on top of ribeyes. I can cook them in pasta. I can make, just the butter spreads for crackers and meats and stuff. Oh man, I'm ready.
What do they look like? And aren't you concerned that you might pick the wrong thing and then eat it and then pass away?
Fair question. Morels are exceptionally unique looking. They're very, very hard to mistake. If you take a little bit of time and just, you're really not going to mix up. There is something called a false morel that will, it'll make you know that you ate the wrong thing, but it won't kill you. But there's also, once you start prepping them, if they're not hollow, you don't eat them. That's a false morel. But no, that's one that I don't worry about. Now, a lot of the other varieties of mushrooms out there, there's only maybe 7 or 8 species total that I'll pick. not because there's not more that are excellent and delicious. It's that it's for exactly what you're talking about. It's that I'm not educated enough to be 100% sure of what I'm ingesting. So, yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah.
How far away are they for you? Like how I want to use the word forage. You forage, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. Like where I'm going to go look, how far is it from me, or how far are the morels to where I want them to be?
No, how far are they from you? Like how far do you have to travel to get them?
Oh, quarter mile. I mean, they're all over. They're all over. Like where I found the spot. Yeah, where I believe they'll be is or where I found the older ones that were past their prime last year is 3-4 minutes from the house.
That a 3-4 minute walk.
Oh, drive.
Oh, drive. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just around the corner on campus. There's a Naturelands Preserve hiking area over there, and while everybody else is on the trails, I'm the creepy guy off the trail in the woods that you're like, walk quickly, walk fast.
It sounds like fun. So you're going to go do that this weekend then, or today? You're going to do that today?
I'm going to do that today. My schedule opened up this afternoon. I'm going to get some. I'm going to get my work done, and I am going to go hit the woods, my friend.
Like fun, man. That sounds like a good time. That's fun. I think, and like foraging, I feel like you're like in the Shire. You need to forage.
I'm not sure what you're referring to as far as the Shire and whatnot, but I like being. It's great.
Don't know what the Shire is. Come on.
I don't know what the Shire is. What are you talking about?
Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. You're foraging.
I read one of the books. I felt like that got me where I needed to go.
You felt like you had enough of it.
I did. That's a challenging read. Yeah, I'm out in the woods. There's no cell phones. You got the sound of the birds around you and nature around you, and it's a beautiful place where I do go forward, just right along a river. So you got the sound of the river behind you. It's really a nice place, man.
That's good. That's good. I had a nice week as well.
What do you got going on?
I had let's see. Well, first of all, the Philadelphia Flyers are sweeping the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is really, really enjoyable to watch. I always really kind of like everybody in sports. I don't really, because it's like they're elite athletes, and I really, I don't usually say that I can't stand this person, I hate this other person, but boy, I can't stand those Penguins. I cannot stand them. And they've been around for like a long time, and they're ready to be shut down. So the Flyers are just sweeping them. It's great.
You sounded like you were chatting with somebody at a parade. You were like, "Boy, those Penguins, I've had enough of them. They're what say, Bill? What you think about those Penguins?"
There are a few, like when you watch sports, there's a few athletes that just have faces that you just go, I can't even look at that face.
So who's that gets you going that way?
Well, he's one of the greatest of all time, Sidney Crosby.
Sid Crosby, yeah.
Hard to look at his face and watch him flop around on the ice. It's rough. It's rough. I don't like it. So, but I think it's because they're so good, and they've always had the Flyers numbers, so I can't really. I hate that. But this past week, that's been a highlight as well. And then I had a little gathering on Saturday night.
That's right. Your delayed second birthday and all that.
Yes,
yeah, right. Yeah,
yes.
Double dipping, like the nacho and
the
salsa. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that I don't know. I like some people as they get older, they don't really think about their birthday as much, and some years I am like that. Sometimes it just comes and goes. But like I think the past 2 or 3, I've been like, no, I want to do something. And just for the sake of doing something. I don't think it's like really just to celebrate a birthday. It's just like an excuse to get together with friends, and it's really fun. So, and like I get to kind of say exactly what I want. So, and I think this is what happened. I went out on Friday because Chelsea's parents are going back to Michigan, and they left on Monday, and so they wanted to get together. So we got together, and I had a little bit of wine then, and then I went food shopping for my party the next day.
While you'd had a beverage in you.
Yes.
Yeah, good job. That got expensive, didn't it?
Well, it got expensive, but the smattering of the different types of food was and perfect. Actually, it was like all of my favorite foods. It was like dumplings and mac and cheese.
Okay.
And then meatballs. It was like it's just a weird thing. And I think I'm going, if we do this, because now I've done this like kind of wine night twice in a row. If we do this every year, I think that's going to be a part of the tradition, is the kind of tipsy food shopping.
Tipsy shopping, yeah. I mean, it gets dangerous. You just got to make sure you're in good shape. That's it's a position of privilege, Joe, to go tipsy shopping. Just want you to know.
Now it does take so like, because I was a little tipsy, Chelsea was completely fine, and so it did take some convincing to buy certain things, but I kept on saying it's my birthday. Come on.
You got to bring in the Uber next time. Go completely unsupervised and safely. You know what I'm saying? You can drive or not drive. Catch a ride. Tell the Uber to sit tight. You're gonna pay them and go tipsy shopping unsupervised.
I was even thinking like maybe that make it like a part of the whole celebration and invite people to come shopping as well.
Oh, I see.
But because then it would be kind of like everybody's favorite food. Maybe you go shopping and you go find your favorite food and bring it to the thing, bring it to the party. That would be fun.
Here's a problem, Joe. Everybody's going to have opinions, and most of those opinions are going to suck. You're going to have to build consensus through people that have bad ideas. You don't want to. All right. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. You got to rein it in. You can't do that. That's right. That's pretty
life's too short for that, man. Make the decision and roll with it. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it was too much wine this past weekend, though. I feel I'm all puffed up, and I feel like all the progress that I've made, trying to get into shape, really kind of, I feel like it's gone down the tubes in a matter of 3 days. So,
well, you have a great opportunity to get back to that lifestyle of, you have a new target to hit. Well, life would be boring if you didn't have the target to hit, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
You guys had a good time though. It was a good event.
Yeah, there's this thing that's happened that Aiden and Raleigh were here. It didn't really get too out of hand until real late at night when most everybody went home. Aiden really likes to play guitar for everybody. So he starts to play guitar, and then it becomes like a sing-along type of thing, which I never thought would ever happen in any of my houses. That we would all be like singing songs together. It's strange, but it's really, really fun. It's really fun.
What was, do I dare ask what the hit of the evening was? Was it like, what did he go with, like Wagon Wheel or something?
He likes Jim Croce's songs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He really likes Jim Croce's songs. So he kind of gets in with that. Maybe I think he threw like a few Billy Joel songs in there, which pretty much everybody knows. It's really about just finding the songs that everybody knows.
That's right. Yeah. You got to play the hits.
Yeah. And then you go, and then I guess we were like calling people out and then forcing them to sing along.
I like how you say, I guess, as if it wasn't your body at that point. Not sure what happened there.
I was told I had a good time.
Excellent. Excellent. That's those are good times when you have to be reported upon in the future. Good.
No, it was great. It was really fun. Yeah, and then the rest of the week's been great. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm a little overwhelmed. It's the end of the semester, and there's a lot of stuff I got to do. So just trying to keep up. That's all.
Well, I wish you well on that. My one thing before I thought of the morels was actually going to be like sometimes being busy and being frustrated and being in the weeds is like such a the sports teams say pressure is a privilege, like all the pressure of the playoffs. Well, it's a reward for everything that you've done is that you get there. And I had some of those experiences this week where I just had to like step back and be like, if this client didn't need all this help, I wouldn't have work. These are billable hours. Yeah, Adam, go sit through another meeting. That's what you need to do, man. That's how you make, this is the life that you have wanted and that you have created. And I had to like refocus a little bit on that. And that was like the tangential to what you're just talking about there. But that was on my mind a little bit this week too. So bask in it, man, and enjoy being overwhelmed.
It is funny. Like there have been like a few just like really long and like into the night working days recently, and it's funny. I wouldn't trade that work for the work that I was doing this time last year.
Right.
Like even on April 15th, I was like, oh my gosh, I like texted a few people like, hey, congratulations. It's the end of the season or whatever. And I was just so happy not to be involved in it at all.
I still do that on like the golf tournament at the Players Championship. I still have friends that work that for the PGA Tour. I'm like, congrats, guys, you made it. And like in my mind, I'm like, not me.
Yeah, right.
Like 4th of July at the resorts or Thanksgiving at the resorts. I'm like,
but the amount of work that I'm doing lately is it definitely supersedes the time that I would put in last year, the year before, and it doesn't feel it just hits differently.
Yeah,
it hits differently, and it doesn't get me like upset or stressed or something. It's just like it's what I have to do. It feels good.
That's a good place to be, man. That's really cool. You want to check out the coolest ball python in the world this week, Joe?
Let's watch. Let's do it.
Well, first I got to tell you the coolest ball python in the world, brought to you by Heart of the Python. Heart of the Python. That is Bill and Kate Peaver out in Massachusetts. Family operation. They're breeding. They also do this cool thing where they breed for temperament, bring new pet owners and new people into the hobby, and provide them with animals that have been kind of conditioned and not only conditioned, but bred for the temperamental traits that they display. And that is called the Heartline that you can follow on TikTok. So Heart of the Python on Instagram, Heartline on TikTok. Kate is working Monarch and Puzzle. Bill is working the Monsoon Project, and the girls are working Sunset and Clown. So I hope that you guys will check out Heart of the Python. We're coming to you ad-free as always, no ads, no interruptions. The things that we take for granted. You have not seen a woman angered like when Kelly has to sit through commercials on a platform that we pay for. Oh my goodness. You should just watch out and just leave the room for a minute, my man. Not here. No interruptions, no other ads. So go check out Palm Street if you guys want to experience live selling. Reptile sales are welcomed and supported by the good people at Palm Street. So are you ready, Joe? Here we go. Here is this week's coolest ball python in the world. I got it formatted so it fills the whole screen. How about that?
Look at that.
Joe? Look at that thing, huh? Let me give some proper credit. This one comes from Andy, and I'm probably going to mispronounce the name. Saltarin is what I think it is, the name of the brand. Saltarin Serpentines. He's out of Germany. I actually met this gentleman at Tinley. he was touring around. He's doing some incredible stuff. I don't know what investments he was making, contacts, that stuff. There was a little bit of a language barrier, although I believe he understood English just fine. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time with him, but very nice guy to meet. But more importantly, this snake is what we're talking about. And I don't know 100% what it is because on the listing, actually, you know what? I'm not worried about the genes just yet. Let's look at this thing, Joe. So this one is like exceptionally busy pattern. The head stamp is really cool. It's got kind of that cross thing going on. And yeah, almost like a full looking cross, like from almost from the snout all the way back to where the head meets the neck, but then it flows straight into the pattern. A lot of times, like the head stamp is completely disconnected or it's clean and there is no head stamp. This one goes right into the pattern, really, really busy pattern. We see that clown pattern on it. And then this one's all about the yellows and the oranges. If you notice, the blacks are softened a little bit. I usually really like a really, really high contrast, but this one kind of has that soft glow, almost like a glazed donut.
Yeah.
And, that is a genetic trait called hypo, which is short for hypomelanistic, which is bringing down the blacks just a little bit. And so as much as I like contrast and really stark contrast, hypo does this cool thing that's almost like reverse psychology. Like it gives it a whole different glow and glaze kind of look to it. And it really brings out those yellows and oranges. So I'm loving the busy, disrupted pattern, very, very busy. There is a dark kind of a glow to it. And then the yellows and the oranges with that hypo glaze, man. This is for sure a GHI, which is a codominant gene, spot nose, which is also codominant, hypo recessive and clown recessive. And then here's the part that I don't know. He lists a word called saffron, and I don't know if that's another gene that's bringing in these yellows or if that's kind of the nickname that he gave to this snake combo. I'm not sure. I looked up the saffron gene. There is a gene on Morph Market listed as saffron, but there are no examples of the snakes on Morph Market or in the history. So I'm not sure, like I said, if that's the name of it or a gene he's trying to work or prove out or just a combo name that he's given it. But I love that snake. I think that's the coolest ball python in the world this week. What do you think, Joe? What do you like on this?
So this is kind of a departure from what we've seen in the past few weeks because you called it busy. I call it wild. Untamed. It's an untamed pattern. Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Like, do you, and especially you, like the last few weeks, there's been kind of a solid line down the back, like down the spine.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, and it kind of goes from head to, I mean, it's all tail, really.
Yeah. Right.
From head to tail, right? So, and this is different than that. I mean, I guess it would be good to see it uncoiled, but it seems like there's breaks in that straight line from head to tail, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And how stupid do I sound?
You don't sound stupid. We call actually you're right on point. We call those saddles when they go over the back, much like a horse's saddle would go over the back of the horse, sort of perpendicular to that dorsal line you're talking about.
The dorsal line, that's good. Dorsal.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you happy when there's a solid dorsal line all the way down the back? Like, is that something that you look for in a good snake, or does it really not matter? Is there like a standard for that or no?
It just depends what you like. So that gene GHI, which is another example of an oddly named gene, Joe, a little sidetrack here. GHI stands for, and I'm not lying, stands for gotta have it. So the GHI gene causes, first it's a darkening gene, so it's bringing in a lot of blacks and dark features, but it causes Saturns and patterns that go perpendicular to that dorsal, and it interrupts that dorsal line. So that is GHI adding to that effect right there.
Okay. All right. I see. I gotta have it. Who came up with gotta have it?
whoever proved out GHI, somebody will give me the history of whoever. If you prove it out and isolate it, you get to name it, and they named it GHI. Got to have it.
He's got like a or she, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's got like a feline face on its head.
Oh, you think you see a cat face in there?
Yeah, I see a cat face. Anybody else see a cat face in there?
You're on a different kind of mushrooms, Joe.
I tried going to find some mushrooms lately, and I guess that's what I'm saying. There's a hammerhead shark moving in on the eyes. Come on, you don't see that?
No, but it's in the eye of the beholder, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a crucifix, so it's
come on. Okay, so everybody in the chat, come on. Who sees a feline face in the head, and then who sees a hammerhead shark moving towards the eyes? Anyway, I like when there's deviation from like something that we've seen in the past. This is a little, and I like a little wild.
Yeah, this was a little less structured and a little less sort of prototype. This is pretty free form on as far as patterns and a standard depiction would be. This is cool. I think that way.
What is and my scale is 0, 1, or 2 cups.
Yeah, or you could do partial cups. Sometimes you only take a sip. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go. This is gonna be 1 3/4 cups.
1 3/4 cups.
That's what I'm saying. For anybody keeping track.
Let me ask you this. This is a great question for somebody who doesn't feel limited by knowledge and expertise in an area. Like sometimes that limits people. What would you want to see to make this a 2-cup snake? What would Andy at Saltarin Serpentines have to add to this to get it up to a 2-cup standard for you, Joe?
Well, it's hard for me to say things like that because I am colorblind, and I see things a little bit differently. But maybe a sharper contrast, like you said, like the blacks or the grays are a little softened.
Yeah,
I would say what would be neat is an even busier pattern with sharper contrast.
Okay, very cool, man. Well, I'll let them know your thoughts and your disappointment. And no, I'm joking.
Hey, it's pretty close to 2 cups.
I know. No, this is great. Yeah, I thought it was 2 cups. I thought it was a real cool snake. I thought the oranges and yellows were very cool. It definitely passed the test of when I was scrolling, going, "Whoa, what is that?" I like how that looks, man. What a cool snake! Congratulations to Andy. I believe he produced it. I would be excited to own that snake. I think that's a very cool snake. The coolest ball python in the world this week.
Yes. Catface hammerhead shark snake.
Perfect.
Oh, yes. I think that's what we were talking about last week, is I was going to come up with names for
the new gene. Yeah, what would you what genes would you
that was
catface
hammerhead shark.
Super catface. All right, perfect.
Super catface.
Super catface. Joe, do you remember? I was thinking this goes back to show prep like 2 weeks ago, but do you remember your first or was there a like a first hustle or like where was the entrepreneurial thread for you? And did you have before you knew what entrepreneurship was, did you have any hustles? How'd you get money? What planted seeds? Was there any of that stuff for you, or how did you? I mean, was it just sheer?
So you brought
in the typical grind. How did you end up where you're at?
So you brought this up to me a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Because I really didn't get into I didn't really own a business until much later in my life. But then I was talking about, did I do anything on my own that made me money that wasn't an actual job? And I did, and it was in high school.
Okay, now we're on the path here.
Let's see, when you say hustle, I don't like that. That to me has like a particular connotation. Like it's like scamming people or something.
Right. Yeah.
Like
So
that.
when I say hustle, I mostly mean just like something out of the mainstream, something where you were like, hang on, I'm going to do this my way. Or like when I was too young, I couldn't get a job when I was 12 or 13. So you got to figure out something else. Like the classic,
Yeah.
like kids lemonade stand would be like a hustle to me. Real quick, we got to say thanks to Elias, the creative reptiles. We got $10 in the jar. Not bad. That keeps some lights on. Thank you. Thank you, Elias. I always appreciate the support. Lucy says hello. I'll post. You know what? I got to post a little Lucy picture for everybody. I'll post a little Lucy love for creative reptiles. I'll tag you today on it too. Thank you for the support.
In my freshman year of high school, I started to learn how to play the bagpipes, and I was a part of a bagpipe band, and I was the youngest kid in the group. And then, like my other friends who were much more industrious than I was, and much more, and I'm just going to say, I wanted to watch television and movies, and I was a pretty lazy dude when I was in middle school and high school. And so, but I thought, what is the best way that I could make the most amount of money in the least amount of time?
That's the magic question, right? Just still, we ask these questions, right?
And I realized, because I learned how to play the bagpipes, that was a specialized skill that people would pay for at their weddings and funerals. And so
they'll pay a lot of money at those events.
A lot of money, right? And like a lot of money for me at that time was like $100, right?
Yeah.
And if I played a funeral, that was like my fee. It was like $100, and it was usually I'd get there. It was like maybe total an hour of work.
Right. And most of that was standing around, right?
Yeah. And then either ushering out or playing at the gravesite. It's not like really happy work, but you go, you do it, and people thank you, and then they give you $100. Now, so what I did was I knew that where these things take place are at funeral homes. So I went to each of the funeral homes, local funeral homes.
There you go.
And I gave them my name and my number. I went to each of I didn't go to many other kinds of churches except for Catholic churches. I went to Catholic churches, and I gave them my name, and so I said I'm available for weddings and funerals. And then when I started to play weddings, that was $300. It was a longer period of time, but that was, and not much longer, but that was like
not $300 longer, right?
Right. Yeah. I remember going and doing this, and then they would pay me $300. Like, this is just like in the middle of the afternoon. And sometimes a guy came out of like the wedding reception. I was supposed to play while people walked in. A guy came out and he gave me money not to play.
Right. That's yeah.
So you can as a bagpiper, you can make money by playing the bagpipes and also not playing the bagpipes.
It's a unique instrument in that way. That's true. We had just a little side story here. There was myself and a guy from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Spade McQuaid. So the PGA Tour calls me and says, hey, Adam, you play guitar, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, we hear you play in this Irish like get up thing. I was like, yeah. And they're like, could you and like somebody do, and they're like, make sure he's Irish. Could you and the Irish guy do a duo? We had this delegation from a course in Ireland where we're trying to figure out how to get a major, or we're doing a partnership, or I don't know what, some business deal going down. We want to have you guys play at the dinner. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So I called Spade, and Spade is way more experienced than I am in all this. Spade goes, yeah, tell him it's $700. I was like, That's a lot of money, Spade. He's like, I know. And I'm like, okay. He's like, put your shoulders back, look him square in the eye, tell him, yes, $700 is the fee. And they were like, yeah, we'll do it. I said, oh, I can't believe this. This is like for a duo that like I was used to getting like my split of like $52 and a few beers for a gig, right?
Right. Yes.
So we get there and it's in this small dining room for it's a total of like maybe 16 people having dinner. And we're setting up speakers and the GM of the club comes over. He goes, you don't need to set up your PA. And we're like, oh, he's like, just like some acoustic music while we're, you know, while we're mingling and having some drinks and stuff. I was like, okay. So I tell Spade, he's like smiling. He's like, see? And I was like, what are you talking about? And we get in, Joe, we play 2 songs. The same GM comes over. He goes, thanks. You guys have been great. He hands us a check. He's like, we're going to start dinner now.
I mean, it's funny. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was like with the bagpipes too. It was like, if there's like a good idea that they have and it serves a certain purpose, but when it's actually happening, they go, okay, now we're going to move on to a different thing. And this thing is
like, it goes. Yeah. But back to the main theme, like, all right, so that's a great example of like a hustle. Like there's a need, you have a skill and you figure out how to go. Now, how many of those would you say you did? Like in all, did you do like 10 events? Did you do 100 events? Did you do 4 events? How many did you do altogether?
Not 100. I would say, let's see. In high school, I'd put it at like 20.
That's great though, man. Couple grand in high school. That's in the mid 90s. Not bad on the income, man. That's all right.
And not, I mean, like a lot of my friends think I'm not like a good, like friends from that era. I think they think of me as like kind of not a good worker.
Okay. All right.
Because I was very much, like my main thing in my life is I want to have fun and I want to laugh. That's what I want to do all the time. That's my whole aim. That's what I want to do. That's everything. So I don't think I was as serious as other people about, or appeared as serious to other people and being like disciplined or, you know, and I was a big, happy, jolly kind of guy. So I was like a kind of a funny character, right?
Okay.
So that doesn't necessarily equate to people thinking that you're reliable and you are a good worker. So I think a lot of times, but so I don't want to disparage like the other way of doing things, which like a lot of my friends started to get like regular like after school jobs or jobs on the weekend or something like that. And I think that really worked for them. And they probably did have more money than I did, you know, regularly. But I figured out a way to make what I wanted to do and have enough to, you know, do the things and have the lifestyle that I wanted to at that time.
Right. Well, I think that's a key component. Do you think that it like quote ruined you? Was there ever a time where you're like, I'm not doing that. I could go make X money on a bagpipe gig. Like, were you ever like, I'm not bagging groceries. That's for suckers. I'm going to go do what I want to do.
Well, my buddy worked at a restaurant where he did a whole bunch of stuff like in the back. So he was either like washing dishes or cleaning things or fixing things or whatever. He's a real kind of handy guy. And then he was like, we need a dishwasher this weekend. And I went in to dishwash just for that weekend. And I never went back.
You never went back.
I never went back. Now I didn't really work. I didn't work service until later in my life.
Yeah. So I started, I think a lot of people know, I started washing dishes when I was 16. And at first I was like, I just need a job. But wash the dishes paid like $2 more an hour. So I remember my buddies, they were making like $3.25 or $3.50 an hour bagging groceries. Man, I sound like an old man, don't I? Back in my day, that's what we were making. So, but I was getting paid $5.50 to wash dishes.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that. And it was a breakfast shift, so I could be done by noon. And when all my other friends were rolling out of bed, I'd already made my money and I was having a good time, and I could go hang out with them. But then something happened, Joe. Ruby's, and that was a Ruby Tuesday. We were like a breakfast program pilot, and they pulled the plug on that. They were like, "This is not making any money. This makes no sense." So I came in one day, and they were like, "The breakfast shift is done, but we don't want to lose you." And I was like, "Oh, good." I thought I was getting fired. And they said, we need a weekend closer. We can't find a person to close the dish pit on the weekends. And I was like, closing? How late do I get out? And they're like, well, the bar's open till 2. So, I mean, you're probably done at, 1:30 or 2 kind of deal. I was like, I don't know about this, but I needed money. So I stayed on. And what I found, Joe, was that the people that worked the breakfast shift, they behave a little bit different than the college kids with no rudder or moral compass whatsoever who work the closing weekend shift. And I don't know how to put this because I cannot share details, but let's just say that I learned stuff in that dish pit that they don't teach in school. Okay. And as a 16-year-old male, I had an absolute blast to do it for the wrong reasons. Wash the dishes, man. And that led to a career in restaurants. But so I was making more money. I was learning things. I was experiencing things. And that was interesting. But I got thinking about like what, because people are always like, why do you work like you do? Or what makes you work like you do? Or where'd you get this work ethic? And blah, 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 which I'm in a lot of ways, Joe, though, I'm kind of like you. I'm like, this work provides for the lifestyle I want to live, and I get to have a pretty good time doing it. Like those are massive boxes to check for me. You can't always do that, but by and large, I've been able to get there. But I got thinking about like when I was a kid, and I made a list of hustles. I had quite a few.
Really?
So, yeah.
While you bring that up, this was my dishwashing experience. I went in. It was Molly's on Main Street in Stroudsburg. I went in. They taught me. The owner was there.
Yeah.
Taught me how to wash dishes, work the dishwasher, everything. What I had to do, and he said, "Whatever you do, don't get any water on the floor. Don't get any water on the floor." Right?
It's impossible. Okay. Right?
So about halfway through my shift, the dishwasher basically explodes with water. The water goes everywhere, all over the floor. It basically flooded the entire floor. And the main guy, like the cook, was I was like, what am I going to do? The owner's going to, fire me right away my first day. And he's like, I guess you better get a mop. And so I go, like he was no help at all. So I went, I got a mop, and I got all the water up, and all the dishes were starting to pile up because I was working on trying to get all the water up so that nobody would see that I had completely messed up because I had not properly scraped off the butter foil, and it had clogged the drain of the dishwasher. Right. So I got it down to like this little tiny puddle of water, and that was the only thing that was left. And the owner walked in at that time, and he goes, "You can't do this. There's a little puddle of water over here. You can't. This can't happen at all." And I was like, "I'm just glad you weren't here 15 minutes ago, dude." He was angry about that after I had cleaned everything up.
I would venture to bet that owner was not very successful because of anything in any restaurant, no matter the caliber of restaurant, you need a massive drain in the floor in your dish pit because you're going to get water everywhere inevitably. I mean, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a no win. Well,
That's good to hear
and
that.
then you
It's
called
good
it,
to hear
yeah,
that
and then you
because
called it a day.
Yeah, I carried around for a long time. Like I can't do this type of work because there's too many. He set me up for failure. Basically, that's what happened.
Well, and I think in the long run, he set himself up for failure. That's not going to. There's no. Yeah, that wasn't going to be successful.
Seemed to do fine.
So I was trying to think. I think my very first like hustle that I fell into, like the best hustle stories are the ones that you fall into accidentally, where you're like, oh my gosh, there's opportunity here. We had to do. I can't believe I'm telling this story. By the way, I don't advocate this. I don't recommend this. I no longer do this. I was a 10-year-old kid. We had to do a science project, and we had to have a hypothesis, and we had to have we were going to test things with a scientific method, and we had to have a control and this and that. And I said, I wonder what the effect of caffeine on hamsters would be. So I went to the pet store and I got 2 hamsters. And I set them up in different cages. So I had 2 cages, 2 hamsters. One I fed water to, one I fed Jolt soda to. That was it. It wasn't like I mixed it in with its water. Like that was what it got to
Jolt.
Just Jolt. And then I studied these hamsters, and I found that one of them was way more active than the other because of the evidence of a wheel spinning constantly and me not being able to sleep. And there came a point where the hamsters stunk and I had to clean their cages. So my mom said, here's Tupperware, put them in the Tupperware, clean their cages, and then you could put them back in the cages. So I did that. And lo and behold, about 2 weeks after that cleaning, there was a bunch of baby hamsters. The Tupperware was their sort of conjugal visit. So then my mom is like, oh, no, I don't want these hamsters in the house to begin with. Now there's baby hamsters. And she's like, you got to get rid of these things. And I'm like, you can't get rid of they're babies. And so we grew up the baby hamsters. And sure enough, some of them were all white with red eyes. There was albinism in there. So she's like, take them to the pet shop, get rid of these things. So I take them to the pet shop. And before I could just be like, hey, here's a bunch of hamsters, the guy was like, well, I'll give you $1 each, but I'll give you $2 for the white ones with red eyes. And I was like, well. $26 later, I march home and I put those 2 hamsters back together again.
See, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Wow.
And my mom was furious. Another 3 weeks go by. She's like, how do they have more babies? There's only one way this could happen. I thought you were keeping them in separate containers. I'm like, I'm feeding them all the while. This one's on Jolt too. So like one of the parents, I don't remember if it was the mom or the dad, one of them's on Jolt soda, making babies. And that second litter, she said, this time when you go to the pet shop, you're taking the parents with you back to the pet shop. And
man.
Yeah. And the pet shop was like, yeah, we'll give you $1 and $2, but the adults, we'll take, but we don't give you any money for those. Nobody wants the fat old hamster. And
they kept producing albino hamsters.
I know. And to be honest with you, Joe, a little part of that stuck with me all the way to this whole ball python thing where I was like,
it's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. 2 became 13 and then 2 became like 18. So 2 became like 31. And that was like, $45 or whatever. It was pretty good, man.
That's a direct line to what you're doing now. Yeah. I had no idea that this was in your past. This is, it makes the leap that you made to breeding snakes a little more understandable, actually.
Joe, I don't think in my business, I don't think I ever said to Kelly, well, when I was 10, I made $45 with hamsters. This is going to work, baby. Like that was not part of the pitch. Okay.
It's funny, like we do that, like there's this leadership program that I've done before, that I've delivered before, called Connected Leadership. One of the activities is to actually look back at your life to see where you were a leader, like where you stepped up to be a leader.
I see. Yeah.
And you, if you look at those antecedents of leadership, like those moments when you wouldn't think of yourself as a leader, but you did something that kind of brought people together. You can kind of develop an understanding of what kind of leader you are, right? Because naturally you went and you did a certain thing in it. So this is like the antecedents of business ownership is looking back and seeing where are those places in your life where you kind of stepped in and was like, and you actually made something, let's see, you built something that brought in some money. And that would be, you think that's your first one?
I think so. I used to do, so I looked here like some with less story tied to them. You know, I used to do right in that same period of time, 10 or 11, I was doing the raking leaves. My buddy and I, we had some rakes and we went and got some garbage bags, and we would just go door to door in Maine. And then I remember, but one thing that does stick out from me in doing that was that we had to find what the market price was. And we would say all these numbers. And then we got to this one house, and I remember my buddy he was so mad because I told the lady, I said, we'll do the job and you pay us what you think it's worth. And he looked at me like I was insane. And she said, okay. And my buddy was like, she's going to give us like $4. This is not, and it was a big, like it was all afternoon kind of deal.
Yeah.
But then I remember she gave us $20. And I was like, and he was so happy. It was totally worth our time. This would have been in 1990. It was totally worth our time. I'd never seen a 20. I don't think I'd ever held a $20 bill at that point in my life. And like, that kind of taught me, like, don't drive the price down, take the work that you want to do for the price you're willing to do it. And that was, I don't think I could have formulated that answer in my head at the time, but there was definitely all right, who wants what we're offering, but who wants it at what price? And that was kind of an important distinction, because before then we had all been like, all day we were like, it's $10. And then we're like, man, nobody wants us to do it. Maybe we have to charge $8. And I gave that stupid line that I thought was stupid at the time. Well, we'll do it. What's it worth kind of thing. And she gave us a 20. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's all she had. I don't know.
Right.
So there was that one. And then in high school, so the common theme here is that I never got an allowance. If I wanted money, I had to figure out how to go get it. And I wasn't a very good criminal, so I had to work hard kind of deal. So in high school, I liked two things. Well, I liked a lot of things in high school, but I liked fishing. I lived right in, at that point, I was living in Florida, Northeast Florida, in Jacksonville, Ponte Vedra Beach. And I would love to go fishing. And I liked music, and I was starting to play guitar. And in St. Augustine, super tourist town, over by the old fort in St. George Street. And St. George Street was known for street performers. And nowadays, you have to have a permit to perform in St. Augustine, and nobody's allowed to perform on St. George Street. They cleared everybody out. But not in my day. In my day, I took my guitar, and what I would do is the first week I went to busk in St. Augustine. I made some money. That was enough for gas and for bait for the next week. Next Saturday, get up crack of dawn, before crack of dawn, be out at the beach fishing, out on the jetties. I'd fish till the tide changed or it got too hot or whatever. The tourists are rolling out of bed, 10:30, 11. I go get myself a little breakfast, go busk on, play guitar on St. George Street, make enough money to pay for the bait, to pay for the breakfast, to pay for the gas, go home and enjoy my weekend. And that was fun. And one of the things I learned, you talk about like sort of efficiency or what do I want to do for the most amount of money. I realized nobody stays for more than like 3 songs when you're busking. You only need to know 4 songs. You just play the same 4.
Right.
And if somebody stays longer than 3 songs, then that's when you take a break. You're just like, all right, I got to take a break, guys. And then they leave and then you do it again. So
you go back to it. Yeah.
But what ended up happening was I kind of had like this garage band, and that's where that actually became a de facto rehearsal. I would play what we were working on acoustic. And, you know, in 2 hours, I probably played the song 6 times. And so like, I'm like woodshedding, practicing in front of people and making the money on it. So I started to learn like, what do people want? How can I be efficient with the work that I'm doing? What's the value that I could bring? And it was kind of fun. I would look for those angles. And in college, we would sell, I think everybody did this, but back in those days, you'd have to like actually get in line for concert tickets, you know? So if there was a concert we wanted to go to, I'd buy double the amount of tickets, especially if I thought it would sell out. And then I could scalp the tickets and essentially go.
Really?
Yeah. Then you go to the show for free. And then there was this problem solving because scalping tickets was illegal, which is laughable, but it was illegal. So in Gainesville, in the student newspaper, you could take out an ad and we would say, golf tee for sale. Do you want to go to do you need a golf tee for the Black Crowes concert? And you could sell the golf tee and get free. The golf tee was $60, but you would get free tickets with the golf tee. Was how that's what you tell the cops. So everybody would walk around holding golf tees in front of the venue. So we would scalp the tickets to make so that we could go to the concert for free. That was one.
Well, all of this. I mean, this might be a part of like a lot of people's first kind of entrepreneurial thing. It all reminds me of like trading cards.
Yeah.
Like
I did. I did the baseball card thing. Yeah.
And which I was never really good at. I did one like major deal, which it was a trade of a Troy Aikman rookie football card.
Oh, football card. Yeah, that was a harder.
But he was like,
niche.
He was like, oh, it's the rookie Troy Aikman card. And he was like, he was winning in the Super Bowls at the time. And I traded it for a Mickey Mantle, like 58 baseball card. And I thought, I can't believe I'm getting away with this.
That was highway robbery. Good Lord.
But then but I was a big comic book guy too. And it was all about like, and actually like, when you talk about like, I don't know, looking like talk about like even each week with the coolest ball python in the world, how you like go about like these are all of the genes. This comes from this place, and it was done by this guy or this woman, and like it makes me think actually of comic book trading when I was young because there are so many different, like there's the writer, there's the illustrator, there's the producer, like the producing company, there's the there's the cover art, like it's like it has all of these intricate details. We would go to, there was a place that would have a comic book auction, and it was so great, it was so fun, and I'd go with my dad, who was this towering guy, and I was a little kid. And like, I felt like I was too embarrassed to like, bid on stuff. And plus my dad was the one who was going to pay money anyway. Right. I give him like a little kick when I wanted him to put the, but like all of that. And then like trading those comics and everything, like that, like, now that I'm thinking about it, that really taught me a lot about like hustling and like trying to figure out the value that you can bring to a particular deal,
and
then getting what you want back.
Exactly. Yeah, that skill is I mean, it's almost more of an art, because to describe it as a skill becomes nearly impossible as a process, But I think about that stuff, and I really enjoy it. I really looking back on like it was fun to write that list. I left a bunch of stuff. I didn't even talk about a bunch of it. I will say there was one other endeavor, which I will not tell the story of, but there was a pretty risky, in retrospect, absolutely dumb idea. And I pulled the plug on that one. There was a day I woke up, I was like, this is begging for trouble, Adam. You gotta stop this. But I learned, but that's where I was like, okay, that was too far for risk. Let's back that off. I'm good. I'm out. And I will play in other sandboxes from now on. And so
there is a certain risk to it. Yeah. The amount of time that you put into something and is that investment going to pay off eventually?
Right.
And you made me very curious about what this was.
We could discuss off air, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's just, how would I put it? There was a demand for a certain botanical distribution, and I just decided that was not for me. That was not good.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. In today's world, a little bit laughable, but at the time, I was like, what am I doing? This is no good. So, but I learned what was too much, and what I was just like, that's not going to work either. So that's good. You got to know your limits. Guys, check out Cold Blooded Cafe for fantastic frozen rodents. That's what I use to feed my animals when I'm not feeding them the ASFs that I breed. And to be honest, most of the animals that I sell are on frozen thawed because that's what people like to buy. And I use Cold Blooded Cafe's freshest rodents. Get free shipping when you use the promo code PROPER11. That's a really good value. Those are expensive boxes to ship. When you spend $200, they're going to give you free shipping if you use the promo code PROPER11. And keep track of it. It's breeding season. You guys got to keep up with what you're doing with your animals. How are you going to know all the genetics and the history, potential outcomes, track your incubator, all that. Use Husbandry.pro for that. Use P-Royals 60 to get yourself started totally for free. You don't even have to enter a credit card. You're going to download the app. It's web-based. You're going to get to work right away. Use P-Royals 60 days free trial with Husbandry.pro. Thank you for the support, everybody. Go get out there and hustle. Find something to make you happy. Don't go to jail hustling, though. Okay, guys.
Take it easy, everybody.
See ya. Bye, everybody. Oh, I moved my screen. Hang on. The end button is right here. All right, we're gonna hit end, and no, don't hit end. You got to hit the music first, and then hit end. You guys take care. I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.